welcome to Polish with Ray. I'm Rachel and today I am sharing with you my favorite red nail polishes. So of course I had to post favorite reds in December. Like for me, December is the month I could wear red every single manicure in December and never get tired of it. Probably the same for February. Like I love red manicures anyway. I love red polish, especially like when indies do it and they add like a little something extra. Oh my gosh, I am a red fan. I typically go for brighter, like a little bit cooler cherry reds or super dark like vampy reds. Nothing tops a good red. And if you're new to my channel, I've been doing this color series for a while. This is actually one of the last videos for it. So if you've not seen that series, I've recommended some incredible polishes. I will link it up in the cards and down in the description box. I am an indie polish lover, so a lot of these are unfortunately not available anymore, but those that are, I will list down below. All right, we always start with mainstreams first. We're beginning with Zoya Soko. Zoya Soko is a bright cherry red cream. So I don't know that I've worn Zoya Soko as a full manicure, so I need to do that. But I've worn it several times as part of a Skittle. I think I've worn it as a pedicure as well, and it's just the perfect cherry red cream. With the Z-Wide brush, I always use the Z-Wide brush. It is fully opaque in 2 coats, and it is just... it's such a gorgeous, happy color. I feel like it looks beautiful against my skin tone. And not only does it look great for like the holidays, but it looks really good for any time of year. Like if you need a classic red, to me, this is like the perfect classic red. It's maybe like a little bit brighter than like a traditional like lipstick red, and maybe slightly warmer leaning, but I just feel like it's so flattering. I don't want any other red cream most of the time. Another mainstream favorite for me comes from China Glaze, and it is Ruby Pumps. Ruby Pumps has a dark red jelly base, and then it's got all of these sparkling metallic glitters that look red in the base. So Ruby Pumps is a classic. It's iconic, and that's because it's perfection. I do need 3 coats to get Ruby Pumps fully opaque. It does need a glitter smoother because it dries down textured, and that glitter smoother just gives that jelly base all the plumpness the polish deserves. It looks like glass, it's smooth and shiny, and I adore it. This one I've worn 3 or 4 times. I feel like I reach for it every year around the holidays, but I also really like it around Valentine's Day. It's perfection. The glitters just sparkle so beautifully in the base, and there's a lot of contrast even though the base is red and the glitters look red. Yeah, in my opinion, just the perfect sparkly red manicure. Moving on to indies now. The next one comes from Nailed It Nail Polish, and it's called May All Your Bacon Burn. This one has a cherry red base, and it's got all these gorgeous iridescent flakies that shift red to copper to gold to green. So this is another one that has a super squishy jelly base, and something about like a squishy juicy red, it just feels like, it feels fun. This is a brighter shade of red, obviously. So I typically have reached for this in the summertime, and it just stands out in my mind as being an iconic red. Sometimes red pigment, like the red base, can be a little bit overpowering. And so when you put the flakies in it or the glitters or shimmer or whatever, they just don't pop as well in the base as they do in other colors. But that's not the case with this red. Like the flakies pop gorgeously in that base, and it just has such a squishy dimensional look. My next favorite is another cherry red. This one is from Polish, and it's called There's No Place Like Home. This one has a gorgeous cherry red base and then large particle shimmer that shifts red to copper to gold to green at extreme angles. So this is another super squishy jelly based red. The shimmer glows in this cherry red base. It just feels so squishy, and I feel like the shimmer in here is extra shiny. So it sparkles, especially when you get it into sunlight. We had a really big storm at my house a few years ago, and I was actually wearing this polish when that storm hit. And when I went to go photograph it, I like took it outside and like was taking pictures of it with all of our like flowers and things like that. And then the next day, all of those flowers were destroyed. So I feel like I love it because it's gorgeous, but it also kind of like reminds me to be grateful for things, and it's called There's No Place Like Home. I mean, just to cherish what you have, I guess. Beautiful polish, also a little bit sentimental. Yeah, really good one. Okay, next up we have some Bee's Knees lacquers. This one is Bee's Knees lacquer When All Is Blood. When All Is Blood has a deep, cool-toned red base with OG UP pigment. So if I had to pick a top 3, or maybe even like a top 2 from this video, or a top 1, it would be this one. I love this red. I've worn it quite a few times, and I'm dreading running out. I know I'm gonna run out, and I'm so sad about that happening, but I'm not gonna let it stop me from wearing this gorgeous shade. Despite the name, I've worn it around the holidays and loved it. I love it around Valentine's Day. I think I've even reached for it maybe in the summertime. The shimmer, like the amount of OG UP pigment, you can see like some of it stuck to the bottle, it's just wild in here. Like it's so apparent, it's so obvious. And I've heard people hate on UP pigment a lot lately because like now it's so crazy expensive. But when this released, it wasn't. I think this polish was like $14 or so, which now is like the price of every indie polish. And now I feel like when you shop UP polishes, they have just a little bit. So you get just a little bit of that shimmer, but this one's packed with shimmer. So you get a really pigmented polish. It's jelly, but it builds up well in 3 coats. And you get a whole lot of sparkle from that shimmer. I miss the OG UP. Yeah, this one's gorgeous. I don't ever want to run out. My next favorite is another Bee's Knees lacquer. This one is Familia as Familia. This one has like a purpley red base and this gorgeous shimmer that shifts red to copper to gold to green, as well as hollow flakes. I believe it's a lion cousin or sibling. Okay, I think I wore this for my birthday last year, and I always change it up, like what I'm gonna wear on my birthday. My birthday's in January. But I usually end up reaching for a dark vampy red because garnet is the birthstone for January and it just feels right. This polish, I thought last year, you know, I could make this my manicure for the next, until I run out of this polish, next 6 or 7 years, and not be sad about it at all. It's just got this gorgeous, like rich, deep dark purpley red base color. The shimmer, like I feel like you can see a whole rainbow in here. And for having such a dark base color, you would think that the shimmer wouldn't be super apparent on the nails. Not the case. It was so stunning. And then the hollow flakes too, like these lion cousins, the siblings, I love them. So I may wear this again in January for my birthday. We'll have to see, but my goodness, it is a gorgeous color. Moving on to a couple favorites from Bluebird lacquer. This next one is called Spice Spice Baby, and it is a cherry red shattered hollow polish. I think I've worn this a couple times as well. I reached for it around 4th of July. I wore it as a Skittle this year, but I've worn it as a full manicure too, and it is just the most perfect primary red shattered hollow. I love the shattered hollow finish from Bluebird. Like every single color is phenomenal. And I wish this would have been a permanent shade. It was a PPU offering, but I think it is a color that everyone needs in their collection. Like this perfect shade of red with all of that intense holographic. It just has so much depth and dimension and sparkle, and it's just a classic shade. And Bluebird must be really good at reds, because I think this one is, again, top 2 or 3 of all the reds from this video. It's probably one of my favorite polishes in my entire collection now, which is saying so much. It comes from Bluebird lacquer. It's called Centaur of Attention. This one is a super dark brown leaning red with a lot of holographic pigment. So when I put this on, immediately, oh, this is my new favorite red. I adore it. It kind of matches my sweater. It's just really dark and vampy and rich, and then when you take it into the sun, it sparkles. Like it looks like rubies. There is so much depth and dimension. It's highly pigmented, so it's gonna probably stain, but it was pretty good in 2 coats, definitely opaque in 3. This one I think has come back in Polish Pickup Rewind many times, like 4 or 5 times, and I hope it comes back again, because I would not mind having a backup bottle of this. The bottle I have, by the way, came back in Polish Pickup Rewind for 2022. So yeah, this is just the perfect like brownie red holographic. It's so vampy and perfect. 2 more, and I feel a little bad because I posted, or I'm posting, my holiday rack video soon. If it's already up, I will put it in the cards. But there's a lot of overlap there. I tend to wear a lot of red in December, like I said, and I tend to reach for reds that I know I love. So some of these are in that video too. But anyway, this next one is Wildflower Lacquer, Perhaps a Christmas Gourd. This one has a darker cherry red base that leans maybe slightly warm, and then it's got shimmer that shifts red to copper to gold. So with a description like that, you would think this polish would feel kind of fall and autumnal, but that's so not the case. Like, this is the perfect Christmassy holiday polish. I skipped on it the first time I purchased it because I have a lot of reds. And I love them, but you know, you just gotta draw the line somewhere. When this initially released, I talked myself out of it. It came back for Polish Pickup Rewind in 2023, last year, and I grabbed it. And thank goodness I did, because I think I wore this as a Skittle with Frog and Toad, also from Wildflower Lacquer, one of my favorite greens. And it was glowy, festive perfection. Oh, I just don't know how Wildflower does it with their shifting shimmers being so intensely vibrant, so pigmented and like shimmer packed. They literally wow me. Like, I can't stop staring at my nails. So since I wore this as a Skittle last year, I would like to reach for it as a full manicure this year, and I can't wait. It's gonna look so good on my nails. And then my last top pick before we get to what honorable mention comes from Wildflower Lacquer as well. This is Slug Bug. Slug Bug has a really dark vampy red base, and it's got shimmer that shifts from like burgundy, like a purpley color, to red to copper to gold. So I love this polish so much, I have a backup. I bought it originally, to be fair. I purchased it initially when it released, and then I got a backup bottle in PR, but I would have purchased a backup bottle had I not gotten that one. It's just the most glorious vampy dark red. The shimmer shifts are incredible. The glow from the shimmer is out there. Like, it's so vibrant and vampy. Like, it's one of those polishes you have to see to believe. It doesn't look real. And try as I might to get like really good swatches of this one, like, I never feel like the swatches I see do it justice. It's just so shimmery and bright and vampy. If you missed this one, because it did return for Wildflower's Winter Rewind, and they said they're not bringing it back again. If you missed out on it, put an ISO out, because maybe you can buy it from someone who bought a backup and decided they don't need it. But KB Shimmer Mull It Over, I posted a comparison of those two on my social media, which I'll have down in the description box, and they're pretty close. This one, I would say Wildflower Lacquer is just a little bit darker, and the shimmer is maybe just a little bit stronger, like more sparkly, but that one's not far off. And if you missed out on this one, that one is one of the closest things I've seen. And then my honorable mention is Colores de Carol XOXO. This one has a red base with red reflective glitter. So I felt really hard for this polish when it entered my collection. Just the sparkle is incredible. It like convinced me to give reflective glitters more of a chance. But at this point, you can tell from the bottle shot, my bottle is not usable. It's so thick and gloopy, and I have some base. I have thinner. I'm gonna try to revive it, but so far, my attempt at reviving reflective glitters that are this far gone has not been fruitful. Like, it might be done for. I might not be able to fix this. If you've got tips and tricks, please, I'm begging you, leave it down in the comments. I loved this polish. I would love to wear it again, but I just can't put it in the top 10 since I don't know if I'm going to be able to save it. So those are my favorite red polishes. Let me know down in the comments, what kind of reds do you like? Are you like an orange red lover? Do you love more cool toned reds, the dark vampy ones? I want to know. Again, if you've not seen other videos in this series, I will link it down in the description box so you can check out my playlist. Hopefully you enjoyed this video. If you did, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and subscribe if you're not already, and I'll see you next time. Bye!